So there's something that General Mkhwanazi said yesterday during a media briefing around safety, because we're heading into the festive season. And he was warning people to be very cautious of, like, as they buy stock or you buying cows because you're going to be slaughtering, or a sheep. Be careful, guys. Apparently, during this season, this is when there's a peak in stock theft, and some people actually steal stock and they come sell it to you probably at a discounted price, and Mkhwanazi says they will come through and confiscate that meat while you are still cooking it. This is what he said yesterday.
You rather not host any ceremony, please, because we don't want you to go and steal somebody's stock because you want to have a party. Stock theft usually is on the rise during this period. So stock thieves makes a fortune during this period, and we see their market increasing. So police will one day seize all the meat at the ceremony. So if we arrive in your ceremony and we find that there's some cattle that's been slaughtered, they don't belong to that family, you can't produce documents of where we got it from, we will empty those pots and we'll take everything. Do not blame us for destabilizing your ceremonies.
So they will empty those pots. So honestly, I wasn't even aware that during this period, that's where you see a rise in stock theft. And I want to know, how cautious are you during this period? Because some of you, you get excited, naturally so. I would myself, when someone sells me a cow for, how much are cows these days? I was surprised to learn. Guys, there was a time when cows were weren't cows 6,000 rand at some point many years ago? I don't think there's a cow that's less than 10,000 rand today. I could be wrong. But I don't think there are cows that are less than 10,000 rand. But back in the day, cows weren't they like 6,000 rand or 7,000 rand? It's very expensive. So someone comes to you and says, I'll sell you this cow because you are preparing a ceremony. Here's a cow for about 8,000 rand, and you look at it and you think this is a bargain because ordinarily you'd pay about 20 grand for a cow like that. Be cautious, because that could be stolen. It's not always the case, but General Mkhwanazi says what they've picked up is that during this period where many of us are hosting ceremonies, this is when stock theft is at a rise. So how do you verify then before you buy that sheep, before you buy whatever stock, livestock? How cautious are you? And have you been in that situation where actually you realize that this thing has been stolen? 011-883-0702 is the number to dial. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Okay, so you're calling from Johannesburg. Good morning.
Yes, morning, Clement.
Hey, Tada.
Yes, I hope you're well. Stock theft, I agree with General Mkhwanazi that stock theft does get rampant over festive season, right? Because everybody's having, festivities, get-togethers, and there's a need for meat. That's why even if you notice, the price of red meat also spikes typically in September. And one of the people that contribute a lot to stock theft is the Chisanyama people who don't want to buy the carcasses from the abattoirs. So instead, what they do, they literally go and slaughter these cattle on the field. So what they'll do, they'll come for your cattle, slaughter them, and then they slaughter them in a most brutal way, Clement, where they cut the tendons of the cattle while it's alive. They hit it at the back of the neck with like a pick, so that it basically almost like becomes immobilized. And then they literally carve up the meat of that cattle and leave the head and the hooves
goodness.
The inside. But they take the meat. So it's really, really bad. People have lost a lot in terms of stock theft. I myself have also been affected over this period by it. And they come for everything. Hey, sheep, cattle, goats. Basically, you will be susceptible to stock theft. So Mkhwanazi is right, but one thing about it is that the policing units are very poor, Clement. In our unit, where we are, it's a massive area. It stretches all the way to Phokeng, and I think it's an area that's maybe about 600 kilometers to 1,000 kilometers where we are. And there's only 2 detectives that are tasked with basically being in charge of the stock theft unit. you know. So the stock theft unit doesn't get enough resources allocated to it. So as a result, people are just running amok and just stealing as much cattle as they can, and the cases never get solved. So it's a disaster.
Oh man, that's a disaster. It sounds like one, Koketso. And I want to know, if you're listening to us now and you've got umsebenzi coming up, there's a ceremony that you've been planning. How cautious are you? How do you make sure that you don't end up falling victim to these guys who steal stock theft? As I said, one of the ways I would naturally think, they will probably come, and one of the ways you could find out is they give it to you at half price. Like a cow these days, I mean, if they give it to you at like 5,000 rand, 7,000 rand, you must ask yourself some serious questions. In fact, okay, so before you leave, please, because I know you're a farmer yourself, how much are cows these days? Like
so I was going to correct you. When now you've got the oil price, cattle now, slaughter weight cattle, that's about 450 grams to 5 kilo.
This line.
15,000 rand.
So what? That's what, 15,000?
The good quality slaughter weight cattle. So the price of cattle is very, very almost like recession proof. It never goes down. Instead, it only can go up. So the price is high because of it.
So we lost you there for a bit, Koketso. So you said, did you say 15,000 rand or 40,000 rand?
14,000.
Oh, so around 14,000 rand.
Yeah, so from anything from 12 to 14,000 rand, depending on the area. Yeah,
hey man, no guys. Yeah, you can tell I haven't been thinking about Lobola because wow. So when you're busy negotiating Lobola, barabanyaka count say 20. How much is that? Yo, ngeke. Nhlanhla, you're calling us from Johannesburg. Do you have a friend you've had to move away from? Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. So yes, I've had a friend that I'd had to move away from, and I'll try and keep my story brief. So it was a young lady in her 20s that Mom and I had taken in as one of our own because she didn't have parents. Mom is a single parent and I'm an only child. So she was doing well also for herself, supported by one of these fuel company, ESD companies. And she was also doing her MBA at that point in time. So I was staying in Durban and I'd left one car at Gibbs in Sandton so that when I come in, I pick it up and I drive to Limpopo. So she says, no, but I have my apartment. How about you leave it here so that I can just keep check on it and wash it so that when you land, you get it clean and you drive away. So fast forward, it was actually a weekend before my doctoral graduation. I arrive only to find that the vehicle is not there. So she's making up stories. It's a Tiger wheel and tire. I went to sort out tires, but I'm like, it's my car. Why would it go anywhere without my knowledge? Only to find out she was involved in shady schemes, apparently with a mafia crew in the Mpumalanga province. So after a long night that involved police and all that, Trekker eventually recovers the car in Mpumalanga. But the interesting thing is when it was recovered, whoever had the car said, no, this car was given to us as payment. So basically it means that she owed them large sums of money because she was involved in whatever deal, and then decided to use this vehicle to actually say to the guys, you can take it, sell it, and actually recover your money. But these are some of the incidents that you don't expect from a young girl who's doing her MBA. She also has her own profession. But it just shows you the kind of country that we find ourselves now in, and it's always important to discern and try as much as possible not to be too over-trusting.
Did you speak to her about it?
Yeah, we did. Look, I even had some of my mentors that we tried to have a conversation with her. No sense of remorse. For her, she says, no, she was kidnapped. But the story on the other end is like, no, this was actually a payment. She gave it to us. Why would we not also hesitate to give the car back? So clearly, we try to have the conversation. But with her, you never know whether she's even telling the truth. But these are some of the associations that we must always be careful of, because you'd think it happens with people that would appear thuggery. But sometimes it can happen with somebody that looks as normal like you and I.
Yo, thank you for sharing that story with us. I've been asking you if you have friendships that you had to walk away from, or acquaintances, associations, because your reputation was at stake, or because they messed things up or threatened to mess things up. Maybe it's an acquaintance for you. Did you walk away? What happened? I'm asking you to share those stories with us because we're realizing more and more that politicians are associating themselves with these shady characters, and that affects even their political trajectory. But a lot of them don't really give a hoot. They still continue like that. So I'm asking if you've been in that instance where you have had some friendship, you've had to disassociate yourself, maybe even from your own sibling, maybe from your own parent, because there was something shady there. How did you broach that conversation? Let's go to your WhatsApps on 072 702 1702.
Morning, Clement. I haven't heard about stock theft, but I know people who steal meat. When they slaughter, they come to help you slaughter, and then they pocket some meat, or they if it's a whole cow, they take a whole portion of a cow and then put it in a plastic bag and throw it over the fence, and then come get it later or something. But the stock theft I've never heard of. It's Mpoenzola.
On the stolen stock, Clement, it happened to us when my sister was getting married. And this lady basically offered to show us where we can get the meat cheap. She claimed it was a farm because she worked at a farm, a nearby farm. And when the day came to go collect the meat, she told us we need to leave at 4. So 4 a.m. And that's when I started to be suspicious. Like, why are we doing this thing in the dark? And then we went there, and when we drove, we had to wait outside. And she said, no, the people will come and bring the meat. And then I knew that this was some illegal thing and that the meat was stolen, and was not happy at all. So we ended up not getting the meat because, of course, we were scared of what would happen to us.
Oh, wow.
Hi, Clement. Hi, team. So with this theft of livestock, it's so serious. It gets crazy. Like, it gets crazy. I remember I had a friend. I didn't know at that time. He was stealing with his own car, like a Beamer, like livestock, stealing sheep and putting them in his car and driving all the way to Mpumalanga. Okay, we're no longer friends anymore. But these things happen, and they happen almost every day. They happen during at night. There's an old man I know from the farms of Freiburg. They went in and slaughtered 10 of his cows and left them there. It's so sad. It happens everywhere. The side of Rustenburg, where there's so many villages, they go there because these villages are unguarded. Most of the people are old. They work with the shepherds. So it's crazy and it's so sad. I mean, every day, on my side, we even installed cameras in the farm, and it just get crazy. And yeah.
Aibo, this is wild. Your friend just what? He's driving on the highway, sees a sheep, parks the Beamer and runs after it? How does he do it? But this thing is wild. I remember my grandfather, during his last days before he passed, he was actually not okay because he had lost so many cows. He had lost so many cows, and he used to always talk to us about the cows, because every time we used to go visit him over the holidays, we used to go look after the cows. And there was a time when they stole a significant number of the cows, and he was so depressed. You could just tell. And he used to talk about it to us all the time. He used to want to actually leave the house to go look for them. And he was so frail and so old. We always had to stop him. So that thing leaves, the owners of this livestock, quite disheveled when something like that happens.
Clement, I wanted to talk about the dangers of people buying meat from stolen cattle. In my experience, they stole my cow. It was sick in the bush, not far from the village, and I was treating it with various medication, and it was stolen. They took the whole carcass. They only left muswang. I don't know what it is in English, but you know what I'm talking about. So I just found that muswang in the bush, and they took the whole carcass, everything with the leather, the head. The danger with that, whoever bought that cow of mine has a danger of consuming meat that was treated with various medication, and there is withdrawal periods of about 21 days plus. So people are sick today, and we don't even know what they're sick of, because people are consuming meat that has been treated, and they don't care, Clement. If somebody comes with a whole cow for 6,000 rand, they will buy it because they want to save money. So I wanted to point out the dangers of buying that meat. We reported the case to the police. They came, they took a statement. Clement, even today, they haven't opened the case. They haven't come to us to say what's happening with the case. So the case was never opened. To this day, it's over a year now, actually close to 2 years now. And the police are not telling us anything.
Oh, man, Abi, sorry to hear that, man. But thank you for raising this, because I think that's also an important element. The dangers of buying meat whose origins you don't know. You might be getting a cow that has been given all sorts of medications, that is sick. And all of that information is important, right? Anybody who buys a cow always wants to know the state of the cow, even the health status of the cow. So sometimes just rushing to get that cow or that sheep cheaper because you're trying to save money, there are dangers associated with that, because you could be bringing all sorts of things to yourselves. Let's go to your WhatsApps on 072 702 1702.
Morning, Clement and the team. I hope you're well. On stock theft, I have this lady who works for me. She used to work for the lady who does catering. That lady always buys, she has suppliers that are people who steal sheep from the farms somewhere in the Val. They are known people who steal and supply the caterers or whoever needs meat at the time. They sell the sheep at half price, 600 to 700, depending on the size of the sheep. So immediately they deliver, because they are already expected to be delivering. They would quickly close the gate, every gate, quickly slaughter. It does not take minutes. The sheep is delivered and it is slaughtered already. Yeah, that is how it goes. So that lady, she never goes to the shop to buy meat. And just imagine how much she has saved. If she buys from those guys, they get arrested, they come out, they get arrested. They're already known that they're busy on stock theft. So their biggest support system is the people who does catering.
Hi, Clement. Good morning. Speaking about cows, they are very expensive nowadays, Clement, because, 14, the start there like 14,000. 14,000, and you get a very small cow, the real cow that you can get nice and fresh, it's about 18,000, Clement. 18K.
Yeah. 18K. So linaba tubadi Lobola then. So on average, how much is like Lobola on average? It's like 10 cows, 5 cows. 20? No ways. Guys, how much is Lobola like on average? I'm trying to figure out. I mean, if this one says a good standard, good quality car is about 18K. And of course, things are different these days, right? You don't necessarily take cows to your in-laws when you're paying Lobola. But you obviously have to think about the price of a cow. And then if they need 10, take that price, I imagine, times 10 or times 15, if that's their ask. I mean, that's a lot of money, eh? I wonder if, as the prices of cows are going up, the price of Lobola is going down. Just so there's a balance of sorts. How the people who negotiate, how do you manage that? Because I imagine some families are going to tell you how much the cow costs, and then from then on, if they say this is an amount we want, then you just take that amount of money that they've given you as the price of the cow and times whatever they want. But imagine they tell you they want 20 cows or 30 cows. Yo, yeah. Mulatudi, you are calling us from Sikukune. Tobela.
Okay.
Hey, go ahead, brother.
Clement, the price of the Lobola, you are exaggerating.
Hey, yeah?
It's, nobody will demand more than 3 cows nowadays.
3 cows?
Nowadays, they can't demand that.
Wait, so what do you mean? Are you saying there's
Lobola
someone who
is
pays
around-
Lobola with 2 cows?
No, Lobola is around 40,000. And then the cows will be needed only for the ceremony. Meaning it's going to be 1 cow on the side of the bride and then 1 cow on the side of the bride.
And then
So
you've
if you have,
paid 40.
if you have got 60, 70,000, you are covered.
Is it?
So don't be afraid of looking
Okay.
for it.
Okay, I'll reconsider, Mulatidi. Because
So the
I was
reason-
about to walk
so
away
the
from this
reason- the
Lobola
reason for my
phenomenon.
call- The reason for my call
Yeah.
is to highlight that the people in the villages survive on cattle and goats, on livestock. And then it is so bad to such an extent that now they are using guns to take animals from the owners by force. I can give you an example. They confronted, and then it was during the night. And then it was a group of people, and they came with 2 buggies. And then they took 80 goats. And then you can imagine each goat is around 2,000 rand. So they took 80. And then my cousin was also shot. And then because he was in the mountain looking after the cattle. And then the thieves were passing by. And then they realized that he saw them. They confronted him and they shot him on the leg. And then he didn't arrive that afternoon. So the following day, the community went to the mountain to look for him. And then they found him. He was shot on the leg. And then he was taken to hospital. Unfortunately, he passed. So it's bad, Clement. It's bad. And then there is no way that the police will be able to help the community because they are only few police. And then you find that the police station is here, and then the village is almost about 100 kilometers from the police station.
Sure, yeah, Mulatidi, that's... Yeah, sorry to hear about that. I mean, that's hectic. Someone now gets shot. Like, is that how far it goes? So they'll go even after an assault, inflict pain on the people who are looking after the cows or who are owners of the livestock. This is crazy, eh? It's 12 minutes now before 10 o'clock. So I see that I'm getting a lot of messages now about this issue of Lobola because clearly there's no alignment. Matume on the WhatsApp line says, Clement, I paid Lobola 40,000 rand. It was just 4 cows because I married a virgin. Is that still a factor these days? Or maybe it was back in the day, hey Matume, I imagine. But I mean, in these days, like, imagine a family that's going to be confident enough to say to you, where do you begin that conversation? I don't imagine, like, I've got a sister, right? I don't imagine her partner coming to the house and we say, hey, she's a virgin, therefore we want 25 cows. I don't know that. And I don't care that she tells me that. I don't know that. So how do you even determine that? Like, as a family to say, oh, our daughter is a virgin, therefore 45,000 or 80,000 rand. But I remember a conversation which was weird that in varsity we had with, we were asking each other, in fact, after varsity, we met with like childhood friends. And we were asking each other about, where's that friend of ours? Where's that lady we were in class with? And then one of the ladies said to us, with my friends, that, oh, that lady was Lobola. And she was gossiping. And she said, but they only paid 10,000 rand for her. And she laughed. And I remember thinking, why is that funny? And I realized later on that clearly there's a competition even around prices of lobola. And I find that to be so weird. Like people now compete over, oh yeah, they paid 170,000 rand for me, or oh, that one was paid 10,000 rand, and that's seen as less. Have you picked up that competition? Because that really, really, really was a bit weird to me. Let's go to your WhatsApps.
Morning, Clement. The number of cows in any Lobola negotiations is 22 cows, but the families, especially the daughters, the girls' family, they determine, they talk, they discuss, and then they will come to an agreement as to how much they value one cow. It cannot be as the market value price, the cow. For an example, when my daughter got married, we negotiated for 22 cows, and one cow valued at 3,000 rands. That is reasonable. Thank you, Clement.
That's like 66,000 rand, which is okay. I suppose reasonable. 22 cows reasonable when the cow then is valued as valued at 3,000 rand. Okay, got that.
Good morning, Clement Manyathela and 702 listeners. Regarding the Lobola negotiations and the cow, normally they do not charge the actual price or the going rate of the livestock. They decide that a cow in their instance will be 2.5, for example. Then when they say they need 10 cows, that is 25,000. So they'll have the financial, the rent value in mind, and then divide it by the cows. They can maybe say 30,000, but for them a cow is 5,000, so they need 6. Then you know that is 30,000. They don't take it literally to say 18,000 times 10 is 180,000. No, it doesn't work that way. It's just symbolic. Nowadays it's about cash, dollars. Then you just divide and convert. Normally it will be 2.5, 3,000. When they are a little bit more expensive, maybe 4,000 per cow. Thank you.
Oh, that's better. That's great to hear, guys. Because I used to think that they determine it based on like the market price, like how much does an average cow like costs today. Good to hear that then it's determined differently. Doctor, you calling us from Alberton. Good morning.
Morning, Clem. How are you?
Sure, man.
All right, Clem, let me help you out regarding the Lobola negotiation. So that you know, we mustn't teach our son this bad habit of you pay a cow for a 2005. How much can you get for a 2005 Clement? How much? You're gonna get very less. So for us, in my place, we normally charge 16 cows.
At the market price of a cow.
Yeah, this is where it gets tricky, and you have to be clever about it. Very, very recently, someone came to our house and then wanted to pay Lobola. 3 old men. Then we sit down. Then I asked them, guys, maybe before we talk, because we're gonna talk about cars, please go to 3 places where they are selling cows. Then the guy said, okay, fine. If you know, we don't have to go there because we know the cows is 16,000, 18,000. The good cow is 20,000. Then I said, okay, here, the old men, we normally charge 16 cows. But if the girl has got a baby, we break 1 cow. That means it's going to be 15 cows. So then we multiply by that. Then from there, if the cow is 15,000, then we will negotiate. But it will never be like, we'll negotiate from 15 to 13,000. Then that's where we stop.
Okay. And so you guys would still want 16 cows at that price of a cow?
We'll give you a discount. Let's say the cow is 15,000. We'll give you a discount of 3,000. Then the 1 cow is 12,000. And the mother's cow is going to stay on a high price.
Yeah. Yes. Are you, which, are you closer, doctor?
No, I'm in Kosi.
Oh, okay. So
that's how it works.
Okay. Yo.
Also, my uncle taught me that this is how it works. And when you charge it, this thing of paying, imagine Clement, you pay 35,000. That's why then it's like this thing is, it's you as a guy. You give to your wife. Actually, if according to me, it was supposed you give value to your wife, and once you give value to it, you will take care of it. But if you don't give value, you won't take care of it.
Sure, yeah. Okay, Doctor, thank you for speaking to us about that in Alberton. If really they give you a discount, as Doctor says, and you end up paying 12,000 Rand, times 16, that's 192,000. So where do we even get money to get married? Like, if we still want to do like a ceremony, we want to buy food. I have just spent 192,000 Rand on Lobola. Yo, Ike. Or maybe intombazana uyi virgin. It's 4 minutes before 10.
Hanging out with Clement
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.